Hello, 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 and welcome to the Miss Bankable Show, where we equip kingdom entrepreneurs to start bankable and sustainable businesses based on biblical and practical principles. And today's topic that we are going to be discussing is the 5 reasons why small businesses fail in the first year and how to avoid the failure. I want to show you. First, I'm going to show you the statistics, and then I'm going to give you remedies to how you can avoid, as a new business owner, as a startup entrepreneur, how you can avoid the pitfalls that 20% of businesses fall into within their first year. And just in case you don't know who I am, my name is Sade Banks, and I am a business building expert and the host of the Miss Bankable Show. And so again, welcome, welcome, welcome. Remember, my duty is to show you guys, is to give you support into you, to give you tips, to give you wisdom, things pertaining to business. And your duty is to, of course, like, watch, comment, and share. Share. I cannot stress that enough. And I just thank you so much for your attendance. So let's go ahead and get started on today. Allow me to share my screen with you guys. Okay, let's see. Hello, and welcome to all those who are viewing. Thank you. Okay, let's share the screen. Give me 1 second. I hope you all are enjoying this beautiful day today. All right. Now let me make sure you guys can see my screen. Okay, great, you can. So let me blow this up and we can go ahead and get started on today's presentation, or class, so to speak. Present mode, present. Okay, so this is what I primarily wanted to show you guys on today. So according to smallbiztrends.com, over 60% of businesses fail to make a profit in year one. Okay. This is what happens when you work with 2 screens, you guys. Sometimes it can get a little confusing. Okay, so 60% of small businesses actually fail to make a profit in 1 year. When we break those down, 30% breaks even. That means that they are neither generating a profit and they're neither or a loss, right? And so when we say, 30% do break even, 30% operate at a loss. So when we combine that, we can safely say that 60% of small businesses do not make a profit in year one. Break even is not a profit, and of course, loss is not a profit. And then you have 20% of the small businesses that actually fail in 1 year. So we had these guys at CB Insights. They interviewed all of these entrepreneurs whose businesses, did not make it past year one. And here were some of the reasons that they gave. 18% said that, their businesses failed due to pricing and cost issues. 20% said that they had no business model. 14% said their business failed due to poor marketing. 8% said burnout, and 14% said that they ignored customers. So what we're going to do is we're going to go by each one of these, and I'm just going to give a small example and more information on what this actually translates to in the world of business. Again, if this is blessing you, if this is resonating with you, if you find this beneficial, please go ahead and share this broadcast out. So when we talk about pricing and cost issues, this means that 18% of these small business owners did not know how to properly price their product. You have to price according to what your clients or customers are willing to pay, which is typically based on what the industry standard. So when you're coming out, typically what I find with small business owners, and I've also experienced this with myself, is not pricing properly in your market. When I first started my very first legal business called Bella Magnifique Jewelry, it was an exotic jewelry line. I had pieces that were going for $75, $85, $120. The problem was, I was primarily selling at vending events at local churches in the hood. So they would see my jewelry and be like, man, this is gorgeous. This is beautiful. How much? And I would tell them the price, and it was like, ma'am, That's not going to work. So that was one of the reasons why my first businesses failed. So I have been a part of this 18%. Now, granted, that was years ago, and I have learned a lot since. Hence why I'm able to come on and share and talk and teach with you guys on today. But that's a real issue. You have to price your products according to how they are perceived as valuable in the minds of your consumer, and to make sure that you're pricing it in a way that you're pricing it not above the market, but you're also not pricing it below the market. If you price it below the market average, then eventually your business is not going to be profitable. It's not going to flourish. If you're pricing it too high, then people aren't going to buy it, and then your business is going to fail also. So one of my suggestions that I always make to small business owners is to test and try the market. Raise your prices just a little bit, lower them a little. Find that exact pricing sweet spot, that we will call it, where your clients or customers are willing and able to pay for your services. Okay. Now let's talk about no business model. So when we say no business model, that means that these businesses, they knew how to make the sale, but they didn't have a way to generate continual income, a steady stream of income for the business. Okay. So what does that say? Well, one-off purchases. Walmart doesn't do this. When you think of Walmart's business model, they have their if you sign up for their mailing list, right? They email you when you purchase something from them. They email you all of the information that you need, your tracking information or whatever have you, but they keep emailing you based on your previous purchases of products that you may be interested in. That is a part of their business model. And unfortunately, a lot of small business owners that I coach and that I speak to, they don't have this mentality. Right. They only think beyond, they don't think beyond just that one purchase sale. They don't think about building a continual relationship and putting systems and structures in order for them to generate a continual income stream for the business. Right. It's much cheaper to sell to a previously purchasing client than it is to go out and find a new one. OK, so keep that in mind. Now, when we talk about poor marketing, marketing is the lifeblood of your business. If you do not market your product and your services, people don't know you. So you may have something that is so awesome, but if you're not putting yourself if you're not putting your advertisings and your marketings and your offerings in the right place, then you are setting yourself up for people not knowing you, and not making the sales that you need in order to generate a continual stream of income for your business, hence business failure. Okay, so marketing is the lifeblood of your business. The next thing is burnout, right? And so as entrepreneurs, typically the clients that I see, it's just them. It's them by themselves, right? And so when you are trying to build a business, it's you by yourself. Yeah, you will find a lot of times where you are burning the midnight oil. It's a consistent you having to give everything. You are the marketer. You are the salesperson. You're setting up this. You're setting up that. You're doing everything, and you trying to manage that along with being in school or being a spouse or being a parent, having other obligations that you have to do in your life. And eventually people burn out. They get tired. They lose a passion and a drive and a will to continue on in the business, right? And so 8% of that businesses fail due to burnout. Now let's talk about ignored customers. Now, how would you guys feel if sometimes we have to look from the perspective of a consumer, right, when we're doing our business? Now, how would you guys feel if you guys purchased something from like Target or whatever have you, or eBay or wherever you like to shop, and you never received an email about, thank you for your purchase. We got your order. We're waiting to fulfill it. Here's your shipping information. If you never got that information from them, you would feel ignored. It would leave you too much in a balance. You would be very, very uncomfortable, and therefore you would not be able to purchase from them again. You would lose trust in that company. You would lose likability in that company. You would no longer be interested in supporting that company. You would just go to one of their competitors, right? And so those are some of the 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So those are some of the 5 reasons why businesses fail. Give me 1 second, you guys. Oh, here. Okay. Thank you guys so much for waiting. Okay, so let's continue on with what we were talking about. Now, I've given you the reasons why business fail. Now let me give you how you can avoid these failures and actually make your business profitable and successful within the first year, okay? And so if you recall from the last slide, well, let's talk about this. There are actually 5 keys, 5 requirements that every business, it doesn't matter if it's Walmart, if it's the mom and pops, if it does not matter, right? And so the first thing is God. You need a financial system. You need the proper branding You need the proper marketing and the proper operation systems. So when we talk about God, you say, well, Sade, there's businesses that, they don't believe in God, or, we just know that they're not a Christian company. Yeah, very true. But I want you to know that the scripture says that God gives you the power to get wealth. That's a spiritual concept, that there has to be some type of spiritual power, some type of spiritual backing that is supporting the success of a business. If you really look into and if you study some of the great millionaires of our time, you would never realize that Heinz Ketchup, the owner of Heinz Ketchup, he was a Christian. Sam Walton, the owner of Walmart, was a Christian. When we think of Chick-fil-A, the owner of Chick-fil-A was a Christian, right? So there has to be some type of spiritual backing to back any type of business. Now, because we are kingdom entrepreneurs, the Lord Jesus Christ is the one that's given us the power to get wealth. But there are companies out there, and you can tell from what they support, what they back, who is the God that supports, lowercase g, amen, that supports the success of that business, right? And so just keep that in mind. Now, when we talk about finances, this is actually the range of activities that revolve around your money management. So when we have businesses that fail due to cost or pricing issues, remember, that was 18%. That means that they didn't put the proper structure of financials in place to make sure that they're having a continual stream of profit, right? Or they're having poor money management. They're not pricing their products correctly in accordance to the standards set in the market. Or they can just have poor financial management. As I said before, they don't have a bookkeeper. They don't have an accountant. They're not making financial goals, setting financial goals every month or every week, whatever have you. They're not tracking whether or not they are operating at a profit or at a loss, right? So finances is a huge part of any business. Now, when we talk about branding is how you get your clients to marketing is how you get your clients to know you, but branding is how you get them to like and to trust you. So, and you do that based on, communicating with them the values of your business, the history of your business, a lot of branding. Because when we think of branding, we just think of your colors and your logo. Very true. Your logo and your colors communicate a great deal about your brand, but also there's additional things that go into branding besides the visual cues. You also have to have emotional cues, right? And so that's a part of branding. Now, some issues with that is we talked about ignored customers is 14%. I guarantee you that affected their brand. That affected the trust and the likability of their business, because their branding, they did not have the proper values that would support their clients not feeling ignored. I hope that makes sense, right? And so, like we said, if you are not in communication with them, if you don't know, keep them up to date on certain things, that affects trust and that affects likability, and that hinders your brand, that hinders your company's good name, all right, in the marketplace. Then we have marketing. So it said straight out, 14% of businesses fail due to poor marketing. Right? And so they did not have a process in place to get people to know who they were as a business, their products, their services, what they offered, what makes them different from their competitors. They did not have that going, and therefore the business failed. Now, when we talk about operations, again, go ahead and share is much appreciated. Just in case you don't know who I am, let me remind you, my name is Sade Banks, and I'm a business building expert, and I equip kingdom entrepreneurs to build bankable and sustainable businesses based on both biblical and practical principles. Okay, so Now, let's go ahead and talk about operations. So, operations are the activities that are involved in the day-to-day functions of your business. Typically, when we think about operations, we think about systems, we think about technology, and that is very true. But operations is also the daily tasks that you do as an entrepreneur, the things that you have disciplined yourself, the commitments that you have made to do different back end things for your business. Okay. Whether that be going over your books, reaching out to clients, setting up or inventing new products, sourcing new products, whatever that may be, that is also included in the operations of your business. And so when we talk about burnout, remember 8% of businesses fail due to burnout. That's because they don't have the proper systems and the proper operations in order to make sure that they're not having to do everything for their business. So one of the things that I always tell my clients is automation is key. Automation is key. The more you can automate in your business, the better. I always tell my clients to write down a list of all of the jobs in your business. Everything that requires to run your business, write it down. Then assign yourself to it. Assign yourself to what you excel at. So if you are really good, you should always be doing the sales in your business. Some of us aren't good at sales. We're better at eventing, things like that. But for the sake of this mini class, if you are really good at the selling of the product, make yourself the salesperson. That's a job description. You've assigned yourself to it. If it's something you're not good at, like managing your finances, okay, well then get a bookkeeper or find some type of automated system that can go in and track your finances for you. We all hear about QuickBooks, right? QuickBooks is the most popular one, but there are also online services that can do the same as QuickBooks, but for a less, that don't cost as much money. Okay. And so just doing those proper resources, so you would have financial management would be the job, and then the description, and then the person that would be assigned to that would be the company or the person that you choose to do your bookkeeping or your accounting, right? And so that way you will make sure that you are only responsible for the jobs that you write down, and then you will hold others responsible for the jobs that you have written down for them to complete, right? And so that way you can know that you don't have to do you can be a solopreneur. That's great, but you don't have to be responsible for doing everything. You can find very affordable labor in different markets to be able to help you with your branding, your marketing, your operations, your finances, right? One thing can't nobody help you with is God. That's on you. Now, I will say that, okay? That being said, I thank you all for your attendance. I thank you for your shares, okay? Oh, this has been so great. I so enjoy doing what I do. It revs me up. It gets me going, okay? So again, my name is Sade Banks, and I am a business building expert, and I thank you for tuning in and for your shares and for your comments, your likes, all those great things. And I'll see you back here shortly. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.